Hey everyone, welcome back to my, I was gonna say YouTube channel, but you obviously know it's YouTube because you're here and it's YouTube. Anyway, today is going to be kind of like my updated everyday makeup routine, kind of like a get ready with me. I walk you through how I achieve this look and I love it. This is honestly the look I do on a daily basis. The products are always kind of switching out, but I've used my current favorites that I mentioned in my January favorites video, which I will link down below if you have not seen it. I switch up products every day just because I love utilizing my whole collection and my mood changes for different things every day, but this is the routine, like the order in which I apply my makeup that I do on a daily basis. I love this look. It is a full face in terms of foundation, bronzer, like all the complexion products pretty much are in use today, except for like cream bronzer and cream contour and that stuff, but you will see that it is a very minimal look. I can do this whole look in 10 minutes pretty much. It involves pretty much no effort at all, and I love how put together I feel after I do this. My very first video I filmed about a year ago on my channel was an easy everyday makeup routine, which I thought it would be perfect to just kind of come full circle and do a 2019 edition. So this is kind of like an updated version of that. If you're curious to see that first video, I will link that down below because I did use a lot of great products in that video that I still love and that are still tried and true to me today. I just wanted to make it a point to use all new products or all different products. So everything in this Get Ready With Me is different from what I used in that Get Ready With Me. But yeah, if you're curious to see how I achieve this kind of minimal everyday look, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post. I typically do once a week, if not more. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so first things first, we are going to prime the face. Hey guys, so as I'm editing this video, I realize how busted my lip looks in this. Please ignore that. Sometimes when I exfoliate them, it leaves them kind of looking not great because it really took off like a lot of that dead layer. So yeah, my lips are so dry all the time, and I exfoliated before this video, so that's why they look like they were bleeding. But anyway, please enjoy the rest of this video and ignore that. Okay, thanks. And I'm going to be using the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Shine Free Primer. This is something that I recently got in the mail a couple weeks ago. Hard Candy is an affordable brand at Walmart, and I love how the consistency of this primer is, it's pretty thick, but it goes on so smooth. Like it feels like a thicker, pore filling primer, but it just provides such a nice base for your makeup, and it's really easy to just kind of spread around. For foundation, I'm going to go in with my tried and true LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation in the shade Medium Beige. This is a great foundation that works for a lot of different skin types. Even though it does claim it's matte, I know people with dry skin who love this foundation. It's a really nice long-wearing foundation. I believe it's $9. I do 2 pumps, and I'm going in with my IT Cosmetics airbrush foundation brush that I spoke about in my January favorites, which I will link down below if you haven't seen. And because this is an everyday look, 2 pumps is pretty much the max that I will go with a standard foundation, because I don't want it to be too cakey. I don't want it to look too like porcelain-like, because my eye makeup is very minimal. So sometimes when you have like a full heavy-duty mask of foundation and barely anything on the eyes, it just kind of looks a little off balance. So that's why I like to keep my foundation not minimal obviously, but more minimal than like if I were going for like a full coverage kind of glam night out look. So as you can see, I have a pretty good solid first base on. If you're new to kind of my get ready with me's or my routine, I typically like doing 1 layer foundation. I don't really like to build my foundation, with the exception of the Milani Stick foundation review that I did that I will link down below. But typically I prefer going in with concealer to cover up more problematic areas, if you will, as opposed to going in with another layer of foundation. And that's because I have oily skin, so I prefer to not shellac foundation on to get coverage. Like if I want coverage in a specific spot, I'll go in with a concealer, which brings me to my next step. This is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Foundation in the shade Macaron. This works great as an under eye concealer as well as a spot concealer, and it is pretty full coverage. I'll show you. So you can just do 1, 2. It's great to kind of go in and highlight your under eyes, but also It's great at concealing blemishes because the formula is a little bit thicker. It's not as liquidy. So you can see I've pretty much spot concealed areas that have a little bit more hyperpigmentation, areas that I feel need a little bit more help without having to put on a whole second layer of foundation. And to me, this really does help the longevity of my makeup. It stops it from kicking up too early in the day, and it just really allows you to focus on concealing and evening out those areas that need it most, as opposed to just kind of, you know, doing overkill, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna take my Morphe M536 under eye brush and I'm going to blend out my concealer. I'm going to drag it up to my eyelid as usual to serve as eyeshadow primer, so I don't have to go in with a separate tool. And on a day where I'm really doing minimal looks with my eyeshadow, this is key, especially if you're in a rush as well. So you can see that the concealer really just did a great job of just covering everything that needed to be covered. And now we are done with the cream products. All I do on a daily basis is foundation and concealer. I don't do cream bronzer, cream blush, cream highlight, cream contour. I don't do any of that. The rest is powder. So to set the under eye and brighten them, I'm going to take my Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. This is a must, non-negotiable step in my daily routine. I know some people think it may be excessive to go in with two different powders, but to me, this just makes such a difference and it's absolutely essential. And I take a tapered brush. This one's from Juvia's Place. And I just go ahead and set the under eyes. And this works great because it's a really fast step, but it obviously brightens and it sets. So it's like a double whammy. It's great. For the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with the Milk Makeup Blur and Matte Loose Setting Powder in Translucent Medium. I really have been liking this powder. Obviously, if you've seen my January favorites, I mentioned this in that video. It doesn't give you flashback because it does come in 3 different shades. So this is Translucent and Medium, so it's not going to give you that stark white finish. But honestly, on a daily basis, I don't really mind if I have a powder. Like for example, my Hard Candy powder is a stark white powder that gives you flashback, but I love using it on a daily basis because it really does a good job of just setting everything down, and I don't care about the flashback because I'm not taking flash photography during the day. But this is a universal powder. Like I can use this day and night, and I love the ingredients. I love that it's talc free. It's just so good. It just sets everything down. Doesn't give you too much of anything. It's not heavy at all. It's great. Just gonna take that on a big fluffy brush, just kind of set everywhere, lightly sweeping across the face. For bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild ColorIcon bronzer in What Shady Beaches. It's really good stuff. It looks very deep in the pan right now, but trust me, it shears out beautifully. And I'm going to take my Juvia's Place. It's also kind of like a tapered brush, but it's a little bit fatter and longer, as you can see right here. So it's great for bronzing up the skin. I like to just drag it up onto my forehead to just create like a nice thing of warmth. Bring it down to my chin area, and then with a smaller brush, kind of like the e.l.f. stipple brush, I'm just going to dip that back into the bronzer. I'm going to bring that down the sides of my nose just to kind of give it a little bit of definition, and I'm going to also take it back into the bronzer and just kind of run it over my eyelid just like this. Like I said, very minimal eye shadow eye look kind of thing, and just to give it a little bit of definition in the crease. This is like my favorite kind of no makeup eyeshadow, is just to take your bronzer, crease brush, and just run it on your eye. It's so easy, foolproof, and it makes you look like a little bit more alive. For blush, I'm going to take the Juvia's Place Serafina blush. This is a really nice blush. It's a very pretty pink undertone, but it is very pigmented, so I suggest going in with a light hand. I tapped it off, but you get color payoff right away. So you definitely want to be careful because look at that. But it's great if you're in a rush and you don't want to spend time building up the color because, as you can see, the color has very much arrived with minimal effort. Alright, for highlight, I'm going to take the Jouer highlight in Citrine. This is a really beautiful, arguably nighttime highlight, but honestly, I love switching up my highlight, and for that matter, I love switching up all these products every day because they all work for different occasions in my opinion, but this is really beautiful. Just going to take a fan brush. This one's from Beige Cosmetics. And highlighting to me is it's just great. It's important to me not to go overboard on a daily basis, but just to add a little bit of glow is something that I think just makes your day brighter, literally. And I don't highlight my inner corner or my brow bone on a daily basis, so that's literally all the highlighting I do. Now moving on to the eyebrows, I'm just going to fill them in really quickly with the e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift in the shade Neutral Brown. I used to use dark brown. I just finished that pencil, so I purchased Neutral Brown just to see if it would be a little less harsh, and I do really like this pencil. My brows are probably the step that I like doing the least, but I think they're important, and on a daily basis, I just do a light fill. I don't carve them out or anything, just because I don't have time for that, but I still do like to fill them in. Then once I kind of have a rough pencil down, I just take my spoolie and I buff the color through the brows. It's okay if there are like bald spots, I don't really care on a daily basis, especially since I am going to go in with tinted brow gel. As you can see, my brows are definitely sisters and not twins, but that's okay. Pretty much everybody's brows are like that. I find that I will drive myself crazy if I sit there and I try to literally nitpick every discrepancy, but for the most part, this works for me. And I'm going to take my Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. This is a really affordable brow gel. This one is in the shade Browny Brows 02. And I'm just going to set, but simultaneously add a little bit more color and definition. This is like the fastest way to achieve fuller brows with minimal effort, so you don't have to sit there with a brow pencil trying to finagle it yourself for hours on end. So going back to the eyes, I know I already laid down that initial sweep of bronzer, but I'm just going to take this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette, and I've been using this on a daily basis because it has all these different like shimmer shades, as you can see here, and I'm just going to pick one with my finger. I literally just pick one on a daily basis. Sometimes I pick one to match my outfit, sometimes I just pick whatever. I'm just going to take one. I'm going to take today Jouer, one swipe on my finger and just pat that on my eye. And this literally takes 2 seconds, but it makes your eyeshadow look like you actually spent time on it. I like applying them with my finger just because I get the most color payoff. It's really easy, really fast, and that's literally all I do for eyeshadow. Next up for eyeliner, I'm going to take this Starlooks Black Ultra eye pencil. It's just a black kohl liner. You can use any black kohl liner, and I'm just going to tight line my eyes. This is a trick that I love doing because it makes it look like you've got a little bit more definition. Like you can see the difference between this one and this one. It makes your eyes open a little bit more, as you can tell, and it makes it look like you're more awake, you're more fresh. There's a little bit more drama going on, but it's not something that you can actually look up close and see, which I love. And it's super easy just to kind of run it through your waterline, tight line, whatever, and boom, that's it. Nothing on your lower lash line, nothing on the waterline. I like to keep it that simple during the day for every day. I'm going to take my lash curler and I'm going to curl my eyelashes because the last step to this whole routine is, well, for the eyes, is mascara. Sometimes I skip this step, but today, because I have time, I'm going to go in with it. This is the Essence Volume Boost Lash Primer. If you do not need to use lash primer, if you do not believe in lash primer, of course, skip this step. It's not super critical. But I just like applying lash primer just because I feel like it gives me a little bit more something. For mascara, this changes every day, but today I'm going to go in with the Essence Get Big Lashes. This is a really good mascara if you're on the go and you really just want to do like and be done, because the brush is super giant, as you can see, so it really just coats everything and just gets the job done super quickly. So the last step before setting spray is lips. I always like to do my lips before I set my face just because, I don't know, I feel like it just sets everything down. So my lip color changes pretty much every day, but I like to go in with a nude. So I am going to take the Desi and Katy Dose of Colors lipstick in the shade More Creamer Please. I think this is sold out because it was limited edition, but I just love how it's a warm nude. And it's really easy to just throw on a lipstick. So sometimes I do go in with a liquid lipstick if I really want something to just last, but I also love just regular good old-fashioned cream bullet lipsticks. And then to set the face down, I'm going to take the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This has been my go-to setting spray. It's my favorite. It leaves your face looking really just kind of like together, if that makes any sense. It's not dewy, it's not mattifying, it's just a great setting spray to just lock everything in. Okay everyone, and that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed getting ready with me as I showed you how I achieve this really simple but kind of put together look that's great for every day, honestly, whether you're at the office, whether you're at school, whatever you may be doing. I feel like this is a really great look that's super versatile, very easy to achieve, simple. It's not like cake face, but it's not like you're completely barefaced either. I personally love it, and as I've said, this is the makeup routine I will do on a daily basis. Obviously the products change because I have a pretty large collection of things and I always like to switch things up, but my routine always stays the same on a daily basis. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye!